me to reintroduce myself. My name is...
What does this remind you of? Schrodinger's cat.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. When all of these tools come together, it's a powerful combination.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
It's an entire suite of different kind of possibilities.
Hi, I'm Gemini. What neighborhood do you think I'm in? This appears to be the King's Cross area of London.
Together, we're creating a new era.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Siti, and I will be your MC for today. Welcome to the ASEAN AI Malaysia Summit 2025 Youth Caucus organized by Kini Events and Malaysian Institute for Development of Professionals (MITEC). This event is made possible with the great support of our partner, which are strategic partner Google, collaborative partner MyDigital, the National AI Office (NAIO), and Khazanah Research Institute. Let's give them a round of applause. We would like to emphasize here that the discussion today is solely for knowledge purposes and to encourage the youth to voice out their respective opinions. Do take note that all the statements and suggestions from the youth speakers do not represent the stand of the organizers or any institution. Audience can vote for best country position by scanning the QR code here. Before the event begin, I would like to make a few announcements. This event will be conducted in English. We'll begin with 10 youth speakers, each representing a different ASEAN country, who will represent their country's position statement. Each speaker will get 3 minutes. A digital timer will be displayed on the screen during the presentation. After that, we'll hear insights from our invited industry experts from Google, the National AI Office, and the Khazanah Research Institute. Next, we will open the floor for substantive debate, a roundtable segment where youth delegates are encouraged to engage directly with one another. You may respond to what's been said, challenge perspectives, share agreement, or expand on ideas raised during the opening round. Lastly, youth speakers will deliver a closing resolution, summarizing the discussion and commenting on the key points and feedback raised during the roundtable. Please ensure your phones are silenced throughout the event. Just to remind again that the audience can vote for best country position by scanning the QR code on the screen. Before we start our discussion, I would like to invite Parmesh Chandran, co-founder of Malaysia Kini, to give an opening remark.
Thank you, everybody. A very good afternoon to our very important people. Amelia Sharif, the CEO of MIDP, Dr. Lee Wee Meng from the National AI Office Malaysia, Dr. Jun from Khazanah Research, and Ms. Ariani Santoso from Google. Very good afternoon, everybody, and very warm welcome to everyone here for the ASEAN AI Summit 2025 Youth Caucus. Great to see a lot of young people here. Fantastic. This Youth Caucus is a satellite event at the ASEAN AI Malaysia Summit titled Navigating AI Frontiers, the Quest for Innovation and Ethical Technology, organized by Kini Events and MIDP in conjunction with the Malaysian Chairmanship of ASEAN and in collaboration with Google, MyDigital, the NIA AI Office, Khazanah. This youth-led session is designed to spotlight fresh ideas and meaningful conversations around AI and ethics from the region's young leaders that we have today. AI is no longer just about technology. It's about how we as a society and as a region choose the shape its role will play in our shared future. ASEAN has the potential to gain over $1 trillion in economic impact through AI by 2030. But this opportunity comes with ethical and social challenges that we must address. While AI could reduce healthcare costs, improve public services, we must ask important questions. How do we ensure its benefits are distributed fairly across ASEAN? How do we prevent digital exclusion, especially with more than half of ASEAN's population still lacks reliable internet access? That is why we're here today. The Youth Caucus is just not a place just to listen, it's a space to lead. Through critical discussions, bold ideas, and collaborations across borders, we hope to explore how innovation and responsibility can move forward together. Thank you all to our youth speakers who have come far and wide here to hear, our delegates from all ASEAN countries, for coming here today and participating in this meaningful gathering. We are truly eager to hear your perspectives and to see the thoughtful discussions that will unfold in today's team. Your voice matters, and your ideas will shape the conversations that define the region future with AI. Let us work together and build a future where AI is not only smart, but it's also inclusive, ethical, and empowering for all. So thank you very much and enjoy the session ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Prem. Next, I would like to invite Amelia Sharif, CEO of Malaysian Institute for Development of Professionals, to give the speech.
When I was a young girl, I was very timid and shy. In fact, until now, I describe myself as an introvert, which a lot of people don't believe that. And I developed an entire career telling people that just because you are an introvert does not mean you can't stand on a stage and voice out your opinions. After all, the ability to speak, being confident, expressing yourself in front of an audience, all of those are skills, not a character trait. As part of our work at MIDP, we spend years developing students from primary schools, secondary schools to tertiary education, trying to tell them to fully develop their confidence. But a lot of people ask me this question, what is confidence? How do I be confident? And again, I spent an entire career telling people that confidence is not the trust in your ability to get things right. So I want to ask a question to our youth speakers, because all of you look so nervous right now, which I can feel you. If confidence is not to trust in your ability to get something right, then what is confidence? Any takers? What do you think confidence is? Yes.
I think confidence is come from our heart. We speak with passion. We speak with what we want to give to the people who listen to us. No matter is it right or wrong, we just want to keep our opinion, what we think about that topic, or what we think about the thing that we have discussed.
I love that. So confidence comes from the heart. And I want to build on that. For me, confidence is not to trust in your ability to get things right, but confidence is to trust in your ability that when you get things wrong, you'll be fine. It's not the end of the world, not the end of your career, definitely not the end of long, bright future that you will have ahead of you. So I want to start this session by acknowledging just that. Today is an opportunity for each and every one of you that we have brought here on behalf of Kini Events, Malaysia Kini, MIDP, supported by our partners, Google, Khazanah Research Institute, My Digital, the National AI Office. All of us put all of this effort into this event together because your voice matter. But your voice might not be fully developed yet. And that is also fine, right? And that is the idea, that once you start to develop it, the confidence will come, because even when you screw it up, it'll be fine. you'll be fine, right? And until today, it becomes something that I truly believe in, and I hope that if there's something that you will remember, that you will bring back to your respective countries, I hope you will remember that. So, a lot of you, how are we feeling right now? How many of you are feeling super excited? Hands up. Delegates as well? How many of you are feeling super excited? How many of you are feeling super nervous? Okay, that's me. I'm that nervous child, nervous all the time. How many of you are feeling like you are going to faint? Okay, that's about 2 of you. That's an improvement, I would say. And I want to tell you what my expectations for all of you here. And I want to divide it to 2. First, my expectations for the youth speakers. And second, my expectations for the youth delegates that we have here. For the youth speakers, my expectation on you is to have fun. We've worked hard in the workshop preparing your speeches, yes? And we have pretty excellent ideas that we are going to present that we are proud of, yes? Are we? Yes? And all that's left is to come here and deliver it, like Lau said, to deliver it from your heart. And that is exceptionally important, right? And there's always this saying that I want to remind everyone. Have you heard people say that there's always 3 versions of a speech? Have you heard that before? All right, so I will tell you another thing. There's always 3 versions of a speech. One is the speech that you prepared. Yes? The speeches that is sitting on your laptops right now. That's the first version. The second version will be the speech that you actually deliver. Can we agree that that will not be exactly the same as the speech you have in hand right now? And number 3, and this is the toughest one, is the speech that you wished you deliver. And as you practice, as you become better, the idea is to make sure that the speech you prepared, the speech you deliver, and the speech that you wish you deliver is as close as possible, right? But today is one of the days you get to test that, all right? For the youth delegates, my expectation on you is to be critical. A lot of the youth speakers here have spent a lot of time researching their topic, researching their speeches, and they're here to present it. What I want to hear from the youth delegates that we have in the room today is for all of you to engage with the idea in the most critical way possible. So I want to hear from this side. This is the Task Force for Politics and Governance. Can we be critical? Let's do louder than that. Can we be critical? Awesome. This one is social and education. Can we be critical? Awesome. And last one, economic and trade. Can we be critical? And folks, are we ready to start this? Okay, let's do it one more round. Get out all the jitters in you. Are we ready to start this? Awesome. Then I'll pass the mic away. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Emilia. With this, the Youth Caucus 2025 will begin now. A total of 20 youth speakers representing 10 ASEAN countries will be presenting their country positions. Each country is represented by 2 youth speakers. Kindly raise your hands when I call up your country. The participating countries are Brunei, Cambodia, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Philippines, Singapore, Thailand, and Vietnam. We also have a group of youth delegates who will be actively engaging in today's discussion. These delegates are divided into 3 task forces to guide their contributions during the substantive debate: politics and governance, economic and trade, social and education. Together, our youth speakers and delegates will explore the theme Navigating AI Frontiers, the Quest for Innovation and Ethical Technology. Next, I invite the chair for this interactive roundtable, Haniza Ahmad, Senior Executive School Partnership and Events from Malaysian Institute for Development of Professionals, to chair this discussion. Hani, the floor is yours.
Hello, hi, thank you so much, Siti. And hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Hani. I will be chair of this session. I am from Malaysian Institute for Development of Professionals, MIDP. A little bit about MIDP. We are a leading and award-winning human capital development institute focusing on enhancing soft skills competencies among professionals and students in Malaysia. We provide specialized training in public speaking, communication, critical and creative thinking, arts education, as well as character building. We are on a mission to empower individuals and teams to thrive in professional and personal settings. It is an absolute pleasure of mine to be chairing this session today. Together with me is Philomena Richard, or also known as Philo, from MIDP as the timekeeper. I would like to take a moment to welcome our delegates, speakers, VIP guests, industry experts, and organizers who have joined us here today. This is a space where voices meet vision, where young leaders from across ASEAN will share ideas on AI that could shape our collective future. MIDP proudly supports the Youth Caucus 2025 as part of our commitment to equipping individuals with soft skills, critical thinking, creativity, and clear communication, some of the skills that are vital in the age of AI and digital transformation. This collaboration not only helps strengthen human capital across ASEAN, but also preparing leaders who can adapt and thrive in the changing world. Without further ado, let's get right into it. All speakers will have 3 minutes to present their country's position. Our timekeeper will signal the bell at 2 minutes, and then there's another 2 bells at when you have another 15 seconds left. So please keep an eye out and pace yourself. We will go in alphabetical order, starting with Brunei and ending with Vietnam. But before that, can I get some voice from the speakers if you are ready? Yes? Yes? Okay, let's do this. Let's welcome to the stage our first speaker from Brunei.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished delegates, speakers, ladies and gentlemen. We gather here today with a common goal and solemn responsibility to shape a future defined by artificial intelligence. While AI offers great potential, it also raises challenges, particularly in ethical consideration and lack of AI integration in higher education in Brunei Darussalam. Brunei Darussalam has made progress towards becoming a smart nation, where in 2024, the ICT sector provided 489.4 million Brunei dollars to the national GDP, aided by approximately 4,000 ICT specialists, with high mobile broadband adoption of 95% of its population, reflecting a strong commitment to digital infrastructure, talent, and legislative frameworks. While our national policy prioritizes AI integration, we recognize that adoption of AI in higher education remains in its early stages. And we acknowledge that ASEAN's foundation, AI Ready ASEAN initiative, empowering citizens, especially educators and youth, with crucial AI skills and ethics. And Brunei is committed to complementing these regional efforts through targeted university-level initiatives. And the path forward required coordinated action, where Brunei Darussalam identifies 4 key areas, where the first is practical implementation. It's about skills and capacity building. We're building on the Go Digital ASEAN. We propose Go Digital EDU, a phased AI ethics training program for lecturers and administrators to develop an essential AI skills and ethics awareness across the education sector. And second is digital inclusion. where ensuring internet access and enhancing digital literacy are essential for inclusivity, allowing all students to access and fully utilize AI education across essential for inclusivity, allowing all students to access across different communities. And third is continuous development through monitoring and transparent reporting and regular policy review. And fourth is collaborative development through Ministry of Education, relevant stakeholders and universities to integrate ASEAN's 7 AI and ethics principles. And I now draw your attention to Brunei's holistic strategy, firmly anchored in the Wawasan 2035 vision and the Digital Economy Master Plan 2025, where these pillars reflects our nation's dedication to economic diversification, human capital development, and digital transformation, preparing our people to compete responsibly and effectively within ASEAN and the wider Pacific digital economy. Thank you.
Thank you, Brunei. Now let's invite to the stage our second speaker from Cambodia.
A very good afternoon. My name is Milia and I'm from Cambodia. So in Cambodia, we don't just ask how AI works, but we ask who it works for. So we understand the urgency, the needs to establish the internal policy capacity as the foundation of ethical, sustainable AI governance. Despite rising enthusiasms for tech innovation reflected in national efforts like Cambodia Artificial Intelligence Forum, the country's strategy is still reactionary. Inadequate funding, scare institutionals, know-how, and scattered policies would have stalled the formation of unified AI framework. So to confront this, Cambodia proposed Polytech Cambodia, a regional accelerator aimed to empowering policymakers to lead AI regulations and digital rights initiative. This initiative utilized a public-private partnerships model integrating support from government, industry, and civil society. So Polytech Cambodia will facilitate co-design of AI policy, fund targeted capacity building programs, and develop open source governance toolkit tailored to Cambodia context. These mechanisms ensure that policy response are anticipatory, ethical, and inclusive. The key mechanisms include such as, first one is capacity building programs. It means for policymakers use co-funded by the private sectors and development partners for focusing on AI ethic, data governance, and digital rights. The second one is policy co-design labs, which is to draft inclusive AI regulations with inputs from academics and civil society. The other one is open source toolkit, which is tailored to Cambodia's legal and cultural context and aligned with ASEAN standards. The last one is pilot initiative in rural areas to test ethical AI applicants in agriculture, education, and public services. These structures support Cambodia digital governance policy from 2022 to 2035 and foster regional interoperabilities aligned with the digital government policy from 2022 to 2035 and ASEAN regional goals. These strategies transform Cambodia from a passive tax recipient into an active policy shaper. So this impact is vivid with a stronger policy making capacity with access to AI-driven tools in education, healthcare, agricultural, and governance. This enables Cambodia to safeguard against misinformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Cambodia. Now let's welcome to the stage our third speaker from Indonesia.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what's worse than being lost? Being lost while everyone else has a map. In Indonesia's 3T regions, which means tertinggal, terluar terdepan, billions of people are living without a map to our future, which is the internet, and without it, they're missing out not just on entertainment, but on education, livelihoods, and the AI-driven opportunities we're all here discussing today. The problem is, right now, over 12,000 villages in Indonesia have no internet connection at all. Even in connected village, the signal is often too weak to open an AI learning page or stream a video. Imagine a student who wants to learn about AI, but the loading icon spins for 5 minutes and then nothing. That's not just inconvenience, that's exclusion. This matters because we're moving into a digital economy where information is power, and most of that power now lives online. Without internet access, these communities cannot access AI online courses, use AI powered tools, or even know that these opportunities exist. We can't talk about inclusive AI when millions can't even open the door to the conversation. Our goal isn't to have everyone in these regions coding AI models tomorrow. Our goal is to make AI something they can understand and embrace. We plan to push for infrastructures, collaborating with telcos, NGOs, and local government to prioritize internet rollout in these areas. Bring AI to where they are by using offline methods such as using TV, radios, books, posters in local languages to introduce the concept. If we truly believe AI is for everyone, then everyone needs to be connected. Let's not build the future for some. Let's build it for the entire nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Indonesia. Now let's welcome our next speaker from Laos to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Suksaway from Laos. So the development of AI is growing faster and faster. And do you know what is one more thing that also come along with that we often acknowledge or ignore that? So in Laos, 2024, the number of disaster that happened in Laos, 69 times, and it's caused 270,000 people. So, and last 2 weeks that I was myself was facing the flooding situations in northern of Thailand, and then it's make me realize that what can we use the digital to help the alerting system, that's especially the disaster. So my proposal to this event, and I'm very passionate that I will get something out of this event back to my country, especially integrating AI and digital in the disaster alerting system that where is still lacking in Laos. So in many areas that people can access the internet, or some people can access information, but many areas that the system there is still not exist. So I believe that having this system is can really help the people in our country, but not just only in Laos, that can reduce the impact. So what I really want to do and propose is, the first is, how can we understand the context in Laos or in the ASEAN region, that who are receiving informations about disaster, and how can we have the alerting system that where we can really prepare ourselves and the life of people and reduce the cost to prepare for the disaster. And the second one is very important to bring all stakeholders, youth, private sectors, and especially those company or the tech company that working in this area to come and support the, our governments, our people as well, that how can we prepare ourselves. So this is through the stakeholder engagement consultations, and also soon we will organize a youth climate action conference. So one of these topic that we will integrate and invite all stakeholders. So I hopefully that one of stakeholders that we would like to invite is also from this event, that to say what is how is AI integrating in the alerting system of the example in ASEAN country. So this concept, if we can make it happen or can apply in many countries, will save many lives of people and reduce the impact of climate change or disaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Laos. Now let's welcome to the stage next speaker from Malaysia.
As financial institutions move to adopt towards the AI revolution, around 80% of Malaysian banks have moved to integrate AI in their processes. Nowadays, fraud detection, customer analytics, and risk management mechanisms have all integrated with machine learning and automated decision-making functions. There is anxiety amongst the public, with the average person having little understanding of the technology and literature surrounding AI's data collection, training, and decision-making. This problem is made worse with the AI's black box nature. There's limited transparency and understanding of how decisions are made in the algorithm, with inputs and outputs being inscrutable to the average person and experts alike. A lack of transparency and therefore a lack of check and balance exposes consumers to the risk of AI-based decision-making. Biased training data may reinforce prejudice towards the underprivileged, machines might have hallucinations, or infer wrong outcomes. We see this in Australia, where AI debt collection systems had caused financial hardship, anxiety, and distress to 300,000 debtors by incorrectly flagging them. If we are not careful, a mistake of a similar scale can very well manifest on our financial shores. And as a consumer, you would much prefer not to be flagged as a fraudster or defaulter by a terrifying unknown. Financial institutions and our trust in them are the lifeblood of the economy, and failure to develop equitable and transparent systems to support AI integration will cause public confidence to plummet, and further integration will only be more difficult. The solution is in enabling and mandating ethical and professional standards when it comes to AI implementation and use. Proactive measures must be in place to ensure that the financial sector is held to a high regard in terms of the design, data input, monitoring, and authorization of AI. Flexibility is important. There ought not to be over-regulation, as we all admit, but basic ethical principles must be secured. The mechanism here is twofold. First is to improve existing regulatory frameworks, which is to make sure that these standards and processes are targeted and sector-specific. The industry must be clear on what standards of transparency, disclosure, and equitability is expected from them. This must be done with a keen mind towards sectoral participation and feedback from the industry and civil society. Reporting on how AI systems are designed and implemented should be published in a centralized and accessible platform for check and balance. Internal processes and procedures need to be brought to the alignment of ethical AI development. I think the past steps we can look towards include Google's ethical advisory councils for development and the legal requirements for the data protection officer under the PTPA. These precedents will be foundations for what we seek to build internal standards and check and balance. But of course, an AI is an international thing. Data processing and sourcing will be something that inevitably cross borders, and henceforth, AI ethic guidelines need to be aligned to the standards for international frameworks too, such as in the EU or in the ASEAN Guide on AI and Governance Ethics. None of us are alone in this globalized world, and ASEAN unity on regulation will build international norms. Through these steps, we call on government institutions and related parties to consider these changes and improve consumer confidence and trust.
Thank you, Malaysia. Now let's invite the next speaker from Myanmar.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sri, and I'm here to talk about a very important issue, the lack of technology in Myanmar's agriculture sector. Agriculture is not just an economic activity, it is the heartbeat of the nation. Around 70% of the population relies on farming, producing crops that feed the nation and drive the economy. But today, farming in Myanmar is facing serious problems. Economic growth has been slow, foreign investment has decreased, including the stagnation of 112 million euros of EU investment for 2020 until 2025. Many farmers still rely on outdated methods. Since 2021, working conditions have become harder with limited access to affordable modern tools, reliable internet, and proper training. As a result, harvest remains low, incomes are modest, and farmers are not ready to face the challenges of climate change. To solve this, we must close the digital gap in agriculture. Myanmar believes this can be done by teaching digital skills to farmers so they can use the new technology with confidence. In addition, providing affordable AI tools will help them select the best seeds, monitor crops, reduce waste, and improve yields. Finally, expanding the internet access in rural areas will connect farmers to markets, experts, and real-time weather updates. Some progress has been made in partnership with Asian Development Bank and FAO, Myanmar has started pilot AI projects in paddy fields, maize, and bean farms. These initiatives have proven that technology can raise productivity and transform decision-making in the fields. But isolated progress is not enough. To scale these solutions, we call upon NGOs, tech companies, and our Asian neighbors to join us. Together, we can build an agriculture sector that is smart, efficient, and sustainable. Our vision is clear, a future where every farmer, no matter how remote their village is, can protect their crops, produce more food, reduce waste, and adapt to the realities of climate change. This will also support the UN SDGs goals, especially SDG 2, Zero Hunger, and SDG 9, Innovation and Infrastructure. Let us take action, not in 5 or 10 years, but today, so that the farmers in Myanmar and around the world are ready to face the future and can live with dignity and prosperity. Thank you.
Thank you, Myanmar. Now let's welcome to the stage our next speaker from the Philippines.
Salamat tengah hari, magandang hapon, and greetings to all friends in ASEAN. The Philippines has been a hotspot of online violence against women and children, and this is accelerated by the use of generative AI to produce non-consensual deepfakes to harass already vulnerable groups. In response, we, the Philippine team, propose a dual strategy with policy and initiative components. The strategy is called AI para sa masa, which is the Filipino phrase of AI for the people. Now, the policy component of this strategy will mandate platforms to respond to harmful deepfakes and use of AI for these efforts. Platforms shall adopt a user-friendly report mechanism where a user can report content with AI-generated deepfakes featuring their image or likeness without their consent. And after receiving the report, the platform must immediately check the reported content with the aid of AI verification tools and get feedback from a third-party team composed of credible independent organizations. This manufactured harmful content must be taken down by the platform, which can harness AI detection tools to scout for other similar content in their platform. At this moment, to support this policy component for long-term effectiveness, the initiative component of AI para sa masa, or AI for the people, is an inclusive, nationwide AI literacy drive that focuses on 3 features. Number 1, will mainstream AI education in the national media and digital literacy curricula in partnership with the education and ICT departments, and will enlist local experts to develop a secure AI chatbot with Philippine language options to better assist in this objective. Number 2, we aim to produce infographics, podcasts, and women's groups to recognize, report, and respond to AI generated online. Number 3, we also want the particular around deepfakes and distribute these materials through social media, radio, and community platforms. This dual policy initiative strategy strengthens both top-down protection mechanism and bottom-up public awareness. And by pushing for responsible AI that upholds consent and dignity, the Philippines urges ASEAN to take collective action against digital, gender-based violence before it becomes normalized. Thank you.
Thank you, Philippines. Let's welcome our next speaker to the stage from Singapore.
Good day, everyone. Salam sejahtera. 下午好. Chair, fellow representatives, and members of the audience. Now, we all know that utilizing artificial intelligence goes beyond technology and code. What matters most is the heart, soul, and vision of innovation. We know that AI will and has disrupted our working lives, and we've seen it disrupt different industries in different ways. But we now have an opportunity for AI to improve the management of not just a specific industry, but for our entire country. How so? Well, our public transport system faces daily challenges, and one good way to increase our quality of life is to increase the quality of this service, which people rely on day to day. We wanted to talk about something different, and we realized that one of these challenges lies in our bus services. Singapore has a heavy emphasis on productivity and efficiency as necessities beyond values. Hence, traditional fixed routes and static bus schedules struggle to keep pace with real-time, fluctuating commuter demand in a fast-paced society. Research reveals that the main problems are limited flexibility in responding to dynamic demand and traffic situations, and that buses run the full route regardless of passenger demand and capacity. This is where AI comes into play. It helps us to change not just how we drive or plan routes, but rather it challenges us to rethink the very systems we rely on to get from place to place. And therefore, we will harness the power of AI in the implementation of autonomous dynamically routed services, or ADRS, which can play a big role in reducing traveling and waiting times for our future bus transport system. These services adjust their routes based on passenger demand so that commuters only need to make fewer transfers while optimizing resources of our transport network. AI will be able to not just optimize one route for one vehicle, rather it will look at the entire transport system. Our Land Transport Authority can collect data, including GPS locations, traffic flow, and crowd density in real time. And once there's a full picture, the system will naturally become smarter as it gets more data. Utilizing AI technology through autonomous vehicles allows us to further reduce operating and manpower costs. Now, how will Singaporeans benefit? Increased convenience means more access to more opportunities, with shorter waiting times and fewer stops. This reduces commuting times. Leveraging AI allows us to have less missed meetings, less late pickups, and less daily frustrations added on to an already very fast-paced life. Indeed, AI has great potential to disrupt. If we harness it well, and if we manage it well, it will allow Singapore to overcome our resource, manpower, and geographical constraints of own. Transport is a shared journey and experience, so let us therefore build a transportation system that is efficient, reliable, and best serves the needs of the people. I look forward to hearing the rest of the speeches. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Singapore. We have now come to our second last speaker. Let's welcome to the stage Thailand.
Okay. My name is Fred. I would like to address the issue regarding AI integration in resume screening during employment access. Imagine an ASEAN youth dedicating 8 years of your life pursuing a medical degree, sleepless night, years of training, debt and sacrifice. You graduate on top of your class and apply to your dream position at a hospital, but without explanation, you receive a rejection. You never even make it to the interview stage. The algorithm that rejected you was trained on decades of biased hiring data, had learned to prefer candidates with name, accent, education, history associated with a different race. The system didn't see you, it saw a statistical pattern based on your race, and that was enough to filter you out. Therefore, two solutions Thailand wants to push in the speech. First, establishing bias mitigation technique, and second, introducing the right to not be subject to automated decision. But before that, what are the problems in Thailand? Two problems here. In 2025, over 88% of the corporate already start integrating some form of AI for initial candidate screening. With Thailand's unique stance of not wanting to fall behind in developing AI, we are embracing AI despite having a robust legislature such as the AI Act, like other jurisdiction. We are scared that this technology will be widely used without legal or adequate safeguard. Second problem, AI screening tool is still prone to mistake. Three parts underneath here. The black box nature of AI means that there's a limitation in understanding how it makes specific decision. We are not able to interpret the process of thinking. Second, AI relies heavily on past data. If the AI learn from bias example, it would just carry those bias into its decision. If the system was trained on resume from non-diverse pool, it will unintentionally favor certain background, school, or experience. Third, lack of contextual understanding. AI may struggle to access transferable skill on conventional career path and gaps in employment. Our solution here is simple. Two solutions here. First, bias mitigation. Two parts underneath this. The two mechanisms underneath this. During pre-processing of data, engineers must identify potential sensitive errors such as gender, ethnicity, age, disability. Second, we will create adversarial modeling, a secondary training model that doesn't improve the sensitive characteristic as mentioned, and we think that we can stress test the AI by intention reviewing hidden discriminative pattern. And lastly is we will introduce the right to not be subject to automated decision. Borrowing from EU jurisdiction, we will allow a more human-centric approach. We will introduce human to review all decisions generated by AI. That's it.
Thank you, Thailand. Let's welcome our last speaker for today, Vietnam.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Vietnam is entering a pivotal phase in AI development, supported by significant reform. The draft digital law incentivizes private sector's innovations and enable regulatory sandboxes. Decree 82 removed all funding caps from funded AI projects, and Decision 1290 sets out ethical guidelines for responsible AI usage. We have already seen these policies in actions. In e-documentation exchange platforms now link all ministry and provinces for real-time communications. AI-powered chatbots such as those used in Supreme People's Court assist citizens with essential administrative service 24 hours a day. These advances prove that AI can improve transparency, efficiency, and citizen engagement in public sectors. Yet challenges remain. Geopolitical tensions limit our access to critical technologies like advanced chips and servers. Over-reliance on foreign models risks misalignment with our local context. Public awareness of AI is still low, increasing vulnerability in data misuse, and too often, global trends are followed without tailored solution to Vietnam-specific needs. Therefore, we believe in a future-ready, need-based approach, so we propose 3 priorities. Firstly, a comprehensive legal framework that does not only balance innovations and accountability, but also balance responsibility and safeguard. This include addressing issues like civil liability, intellectual properties, and data securing, ensuring that AI systems remain transparent, trustworthy, and aligned with our national value. This comprehensive legal framework should be executed by the governments and receive continuous feedback by our community. Secondly, a robust national data infrastructure, shared and open to power AI solution while protecting privacy. This means creating a powerful database that all ministry and province can access, establish clear data governance standards, and ensure that data is both high quality and representative of Vietnam's diverse population. And lastly, targeted investment in human capital through education reform, vocational training, and international talent attraction program. By integrating AI literacy into school curricula, offer practical upskilling for public services, and empowering local representatives and providing incentive for local and foreign experts to contribute to our ecosystem, Vietnam futures of AI will be built by skilled and informed people. With these measures, Vietnam can build an AI ecosystem that is ethical, efficient, and resilient. One that serves our people, reflect our unique national context, and strengthen ASEAN collective progress in an era of emerging technology. Thank you.
Thank you, Vietnam. And thank you, everyone, for your thoughtful and passionate presentations. Let's give all our speakers another big round of applause. Now, we will hear from our industry experts. We are honored to have 3 special experts with us today. Allow me to introduce them. Firstly, we have Dr. Lee Wee Meng, Director Policy from National AI Office Malaysia. Second, we have Dr. Jun E. Tan, Senior Research Associate from Khazanah Research Institute. And lastly, we have Aryan Santoso, Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager from Google. Each expert will have 5 minutes to share feedback and insights on what they have just heard. Friendly reminder to all our speakers to take note of the feedback and incorporate them to your closing resolutions wherever possible. Our timekeeper will ring the bell at 1 minute mark and 2 bells at the last 15 seconds. Now, please join me in welcoming our first expert to the stage, Dr. Lee V. Meng.
Thank you all for your valuable presentation and insight today. From the discussion, I see three common themes. First, there is a need for risk-based, sector-specific governance framework. One that not only ensures safety, but promote innovation, deployment, adoption. Yeah. And many countries have adopted a comprehensive tiered model covering ethics. Many of you spoke about ethics, standards, technical standards, operational standards, and sectoral regulations. Yeah, I think you spoke about the financial regulation. Yeah, and different sectors have different regulations. So we need to look at governance holistically. And this is consistent with Malaysia's view to develop a comprehensive, risk-based, sector-specific governance to protect the people and yet encourage innovation. Now, the second point is about inclusive AI literacy and public awareness. Well, whether it's deepfake in Philippines or recruitment bias in Thailand, AI ethics education, Brunei, yeah, there is a need to equip all levels of citizens, from kindergarten all the way up to retirees, to understand the risks of AI and to safeguard themselves. And NAYO, especially My Digital, shares this view. That's why we have AI for Rakyat. We are trying to train as many people as possible, yeah, working with private sector companies such as Google. And we need our citizens to understand what is the risk, their rights, their responsibility to protect themselves and each other from AI, and also to use AI, obviously. Third, AI sovereignty and domestic capabilities. Now, this is central to growing and sustaining AI development in all our countries. Vietnam, you spoke about national data infrastructure, very important. Yeah, we heard that our minister talking about that yesterday. Indonesia, Myanmar, you spoke about bridging digital divide, the haves and the haves not, the rural-urban divide. Everybody needs to be digitally enabled. Singapore, example of building in-house traffic management system. Laos, disaster management system. Yeah, all of this reflect local capabilities. Yeah, and in Malaysia, yesterday we heard about the Made by Malaysia product, right? I think all of us needs to have that mindset to not only look at the compute capability, but the language capability, look at local use cases, local solution that solves for local nuances and needs. So in conclusion, I'm very impressed, right, with all the presentation. I think all of you hit on the right note, yeah, about awareness, governance, and most importantly, adoption of AI. Well done, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Lee, for the insightful feedback. Now, let's welcome our second expert, Dr. Jun Ee.
Hi. Thanks for having me here. I was looking through my notes and then half of it just disappeared, so I will just bring it now. So I'm going to share my impressions from reading your proposals and from listening to you. I really liked what you have proposed, and I think that there were three main buckets. So the first was on governance, and it was some were on national level, Vietnam and Cambodia. Some were sectoral, so Malaysia looked at finance, Brunei looked at education. Some were based on specific problems. Philippines looked at online gender-based violence, and Thailand looked at bias in hiring. And we also had initiatives on AI literacy and awareness, which were very much taking into account the realities on the ground. So Indonesia using the offline method, I like that. Philippines combining awareness with a reporting mechanism. And also the last three were on use cases. So Singapore on transportation, and there was agriculture, I think, from Myanmar. And last one, I cannot remember. Okay, so I liked the variety of proposals. They were very interesting. They were thoughtful and they were grounded in real-world application. They were kind of like a microcosm of how ASEAN member states are looking at AI adoption and governance in general. And I also liked that most of you have identified existing initiatives and gaps, and key stakeholders or ministries that will take up some of these initiatives. So that's quite important when it comes to like policy, right? You need to know where to knock doors on. And the proposals were very clear and concise. They were clear and concise on what the problems were and also what the proposed solutions are. And I also liked that we didn't overly focus on generative AI, for instance. It was a very broad view of what AI technologies are, and that increases the potential of what we can do with AI apart from, say, LLMs, right? So if there's, I'm not gonna go into like every single case. We could talk about it later if you guys come approach me. But one thing that I thought was missing possibly, or maybe this is a further conversation, is how you can work together at the ASEAN level or at the regional level to actually share knowledge, to kind of learn from each other, and to build things that are cross-border. Because AI is ultimately something that crosses borders. So I hope that you will be able to nurture the seeds of ideas that you've come up with today. Very happy to see the variety of proposals covering governance and initiatives. Oh yeah, there was one point I forgot to mention, which was on digital divide. That is something that really is important that some of you guys have covered. And I think that you've also raised some principles and value-related points that is connected to wider debates on AI, such as fairness, accountability, and transparency, all quite related and relevant to the global debates. So congratulations, all of you. I really thought that a lot of good effort was put into this, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jun Yi. Now let's hear from our last expert, Ariane.
Thank you, everyone. Very happy to be here. So listening to all of you made me realize that I'm pretty old. So when I was about your age, when I heard about AI, I think Terminator came to mind. But now you really think about the real applications into daily life and how AI can bring a lot of benefits as well as risks. So I'm just blown away by the presentations and the proposals to highlight both the benefits and the risks. And I think that's very important, like I already explained before. Platforms should also realize that those two things are two sides of the same coin. And that's why we want to work together. And it's just very amazing to hear about the breadth and the depth of your proposals. And I just told Amelia, like, wow, they're really, really smart. So a couple of things I would like to highlight that other speakers already also mentioned, Dr. Lee also mentioned. I think it's very important to consider also the risk-based, sector-specific governance frameworks that already exist. So sometimes other countries just rush into, okay, creating new legislation around AI without actually looking at what are the gaps, what is needed to be done, and what have been addressed by the existing laws and regulations. And that's actually a very cautious approach. And second point, I really appreciate the locally tailored solutions. You really think about what those people need in your countries, like Laos, disaster management, some specific ones, also like hiring bias, or in Indonesia, the connectivity issues, like very, very specific to the local nuances. And probably to take it a bit further is to identify how we can find those insights through the bottom up, working with grassroots communities, a mechanism to find out more. The next point is around partnership. I also appreciate the acknowledgement, some of the things that platforms already do around safety. Yeah, for example, at Google, we do a lot of red teaming before launching products, and we stress test the products. But again, it requires a lot of partnerships and collaborations. Brunei already mentioned AI Ready ASEAN that we also launched yesterday. That's an initiative across the region that we can actually tap into. Other countries can apply. And disaster alert system, it's already something that we do. This is also something that we can consider together. And again, working with the right partners in doing partnerships is very important because we want to get the granular insights, a combination of both top-down initiatives as well as bottom-up insights would be the way to go. And lastly, also like the point that Dr. Juni already made, similar learning from each other across the region, a mechanism to share best practices, but at the same time probably different beyond ASEAN. So some other countries have already come up with their own frameworks and governance methods, and probably recently, for instance, another bloc just revised their approach. That's also a big learning that probably other ASEAN can take a note of. And for instance, also Japan just came up with their own AI governance framework that is quite good at balancing the risks and the need to encourage innovation. That's something that we can think how to integrate into your proposals, how to make sure that there is that loop back mechanism to make sure that countries continue learning. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariane, Dr. Jun Yi, and Dr. Lee for sharing such invaluable insights. Let's give them another big round of applause. How are we feeling so far? Good. How are the speakers? I want to check on our delegate as well, since we are now moving to the delegate session. What about politics and governance? Are you guys okay? Right? Social and education, how are you guys feeling? Good. And economics and trade, are you guys ready with your feedback? Yes? Alright, we are looking forward. Now it's over to our delegates for the substantive debate. This session will take place for 30 minutes, allocating 10 minutes per task force. Each delegate will have a maximum of 1 minute to share your feedback, raise questions or ideas. Our timekeeper will ring 1 bell at 30 seconds and 2 bell at the last 15 seconds. Speakers are not required to respond immediately, but please take note of any issues or questions directed at you and address them in your closing resolutions where relevant. A quick reminder to all delegates, please keep your points concise so that everyone has a chance to contribute. We would love to hear as much feedback as possible. Please indicate your name and you may direct your feedback to specific country or in general. Can I get the team to bring the mic? We will start with the Politics and Governance Task Force. If you have any feedback or question, please stand and our team members will bring you the mic. Any questions? Alright. We have one.
Hi, my name is Tivia. So I would like to direct this to all countries, yeah? So I would suggest that countries touch upon clear AI governance laws that define its permissible uses as well as harmful applications, with potential bias testing, with algorithmic impact assessments before deployment. And there is also a need for an avenue where citizens can challenge such AI-driven governmental decisions, as seen in the Dutch welfare fraud algorithm scandal, where citizens lost millions of dollars and were subjected to heavy debt. Public disclosure on where, how, and why AI is being used, including data sources, algorithm, and decision-making criteria, and a regulatory body would be needed as well. There's also a lack of touch on the before and public opinion, where the government should survey citizens' opinion to promote say in their legal affairs. We need regulations to gauge awareness, support, and concerns on the usage of AI in public services, and target the certain needs that the general public might have. Thank you.
Thank you. So that feedback is directed to all country. We now have the second feedback.
Hello, hi, this is Sean. The first thing I would like to say is well done to all 10 of you who actually come up with some really good work. You should be co-designers, not just passive beneficiaries, and I think over here you guys did a fantastic job. Right, so there are a few keywords that has been repeated by our speakers. The first one is actually ethical, because we need to make sure that this is general. The AI has to be developed for the public good, not for harm. Second, other thing is also about transparency, which I think Malaysia champion, because it's important to actually make known that the decision-making process, data usage, and also system limitations, and also openly communicate so that people can understand it. And the third thing is actually we have to be inclusive because we need to make sure as diverse as possible, so that because it can allow the systems to serve the needs of all, not just a privileged few. I think one thing that you all can actually work on is actually interoperability, so that we can help to make sure that systems that we develop today can be held within the ASEAN region itself. That will be something great that we can do as a bloc. Thank you.
Thank you. Any more feedback? Yes.
I'm John Yu from Singapore. I want to ask a vital question on every policy which we have heard thus far. How do we ensure that artificial intelligence uplifts everyone, not just the privileged few? From the opening speeches, it was encouraging to see many ASEAN countries taking these steps, from Brunei, Myanmar, and many others. Yet the question remains, how can we empower all people to shape the future of AI? I suggest that everyone, from business leaders and politicians to farmers and students alike, must all have a say in being co-drivers, co-creators, and co-governors of the upcoming AI revolution. Only then are we truly able to cater to these individuals' local needs, as mentioned by Dr. Lee and Madam Santoso. Those people most affected by the AI revolution are the ones who must have the say. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, the next one.
Yes, good evening everyone. My name is Jack and I'm a representative from Malaysia on the delegate section as well. What I would like to do today is actually open up a question that I would like to ask for everyone. Right now, I don't see ASEAN as a very leading power source as well in the global scale of things. For example, if you want me to compare ASEAN with EU or the African Union or the Oceanic Trade Alliance, I see us left behind in that aspect as well, because we still have issues within ourselves in general. May I please bring up the issue that was happening about a few weeks ago, the conflict between Cambodia and Thailand. And we also have an independence issue in West Papua in Indonesia at the moment as well. ASEAN in general is very substantial and very fragile in my own perspective. And for this, can we please try to implement a more stable policy and a more stable growth so that we can grow together without any influence and any issues that can be raised from a foreign national or within ourselves, and that is more united as an organization in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack.
Hello everyone, I'm Reza and I'm a delegate from Malaysia, and I would like to direct this to Malaysia. There is one point that you mentioned, which is that you emphasized alignment with international standards by mentioning EU protection regulation and ASEAN guide. This is good because it shows that we need more uniformity in standards, as it is key for investor confidence and interoperability. I also like to direct this to Laos and Indonesia. Me and the Singaporean delegate agree that we should introduce internet infrastructure in rural regions of ASEAN through more international cooperation to expand AI participation, such as in agriculture through installing AI automatic systems. We also have another recommendation. It is to integrate AI in education to let the students learn how to protect themselves from deepfake abuse. In conclusion, ethical use of AI should balance innovation and citizen safety. Thank you.
Thank you. So that's feedback for Malaysia, Laos, and Indonesia.
Hi. I have a insight. Thank you very much for your sharing to all the speakers. That was very insightful. My sharing is that, and this could be applied to all the speakers across the board. How can we implement more youth within this conversation? For example, I'm talking about like causing more or creating more AI literacy programs, youth advisory council, innovation competitions, internship and fellowship. How can we utilize that in order to build up our youth, in order to also eventually build up how we use our AI in conjunction with how it's seen in Asian, right? That would be it from me.
Thank you. Next delegate.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to first of all praise all the speakers from the countries around Asia. But I would like to direct my questions and comments to Myanmar. First of all, I strongly believe and agree that agriculture-dependent economy, which is 70% of the population, lack of tech adoption and training since 2021 has kept harvest yield low, is one of the key challenges. So, however, I would like to propose opportunities for improvement. First of all, I think that we should link AI agricultural tools with climate adaptation measures like drought-resistant crop modeling. Secondly, I believe that partnership with ASEAN neighbors for AI-based pest control and disease prediction. And thirdly, include women farmers in training programs to ensure yield inclusive growth. Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you. Next delegate.
Hi, my name is Meng. Now, this is a question for all countries. We often discuss the ethics of AI through the lens of social justice, but we must also address its environmental ethicality. As ASEAN embraces widespread AI adoption, the demand for data centers is surging. What's often overlooked is the enormous energy and cooling required for these facilities. Consider Malaysia. In 2024, 81% of its energy came from fossil fuels. And energy think tank projects that the country's data center electricity demand will skyrocket from 9 terawatt hours in 2024 to 68 terawatt hours by 2030. When these data centers are plugged into fossil fuel dependent grids, their massive energy consumption directly translates into an increase in carbon emissions. This is a question we must answer. If we are committed to achieving net zero, what are we doing to offset the carbon emissions generated by these AI booms? We need countries to outline a clear plan on how they will tackle this issue. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Fredian. I'm a delegate from Malaysia. I have a question specifically for the Laos speakers. So, as far as the AI early detection in natural disaster, can we really trust such an important task to AI? Because in 2023, even the Google itself failed to warn Turkey about the severity of an earthquake that endanger over and close to 10 million people. So how can we ensure that AI doesn't malfunction or giving false information to the public?
Thank you. But before you go, may I check if there is any other delegates who wants to go next? Okay, you and then lastly you. Okay.
Hi, my name is Hira. First and foremost, good job to all the speakers today. So my question is directed to the Brunei speakers. So personally, I do agree that AI should be incorporated into education, especially for students in university, given how the world currently functions. However, at the same time, I do understand the concern of the Brunei government in regards of implementing AI in tertiary education. So my question is, how do you ensure that the implementation of AI is done ethically and remains ethic? Where is the line drawn when it comes to the usage of artificial intelligence? No matter what the concern is, I do hope that this plan can be executed without compromising students' efforts in education, and I wish Brunei the best of luck for the future endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we move to the last delegate from Politics and Governance. After this, we will move to the Social and Education Task Force.
Hi, thank you. My name is Ilya from Malaysia. I have a question or a statement directed to Thailand. On the question on bias mitigation and also this understanding of human review element, I think it's important to take into consideration there are different classifications of AI and the risk factor. So for example, in medical AI, there's going to be more high risk, high invasive AI versus more low risk AI, for example, chat boxes. So I think that is a consideration that has to be made when you try to integrate this human review factor, because it's not going to be feasible to have AI be efficient and you use AI to be more efficient, but also have a human review in every element of the way. So I think a lot of the global economies are already doing that and categorizing AIs in different classifications, and you should consider that too. Thank you.
Thank you. That will be our last delegate from the Politics and Governance Task Force. Now let's move. Let's give another round of applause for the delegates. Thank you so much. Now let's move to the second task force, to social and education. Can I see raise of hands or stand up? Yes?
All right, Darren from Malaysia. Now, as a teacher, I think that with regards to AI in education, I think we missed the boat with regards to this issue of the digital divide, because I teach in an area called Balik Pulau in an international school, and nearby there are also lots of schools where these rural schools have people who have children who couldn't go to school, not because of the fact that they don't want to go to school, but maybe they could be too poor to go to school or helping their parents in farms and things like that. So I think we missed the issue here, that we need to address the fundamental issue still of allowing the children access to digital devices, to digital education in schools and so on, which I think is very big disparity when you have Singapore with about 12 years, and then in Cambodia where the average of going to school is 5. And the other thing is, of course, assessment systems in schools. Many of the countries in ASEAN admittedly have these exam-based assessment systems, which may not yet be compatible with AI, so maybe a shift to a multimodal assessment system might be necessary. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. Next one.
Hi, I'm Ellie from Malaysia. So I'm going to ask this question to Philippines. So I like the AI para sa masa plan, but I think it's more like a feedback from me. And I think that maybe you guys can consider making the mainstream AI education not just for students as well, but for parents, for the public sector as well. Because you guys, like, we all need to be aware of the online GBV that's currently rampant, and even more so with the use of Gen AI to use deepfakes and everything. And I think this is more like comment for the whole of ASEAN, because these crimes can go transnational, transborder activities. So I implore each ASEAN countries to band together to do a better law enforcement in making sure the AI deepfakes are being handled responsibly. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. All right, the next one.
Okay, I would like to address this question specifically for Brunei. So I want to ask, how will Brunei balance artificial intelligence use in higher education while protecting academic integrity? I repeat, how will Brunei balance AI use in higher education while protecting academic integrity? Thank you.
All right, second question for Brunei. Next one.
Hi, I'm Tusha. I'm from Malaysia. My question is similar to some that have already been posed by my group, which is that AI being put in tertiary educations pose with it a problem. In ASEAN countries, we put a lot of focus on education bringing up people. How will we react in a long-term period when we have multiple specialists come from university who have used AI throughout their education the entire years? How will we react to university students, master students, all of them who have been using AI their entire education? What will those specialists look like? What will those people look like when they enter the workforce? Are we certain they will be as capable as previous specialists, and how will we tackle this? I think this is a challenge when implementing AI in tertiary education especially.
Thank you. Next delegate.
Hello? Okay. It's all right. Hi everyone, my name is Dalia from Yayasan Hasana. We work with a lot of remedial students and students who are from B40 backgrounds. I just like to ask, I suppose, all of the delegates, but especially, all of the speakers, but especially the speakers who talked about education. I want to ask about your thoughts on especially primary students. I know we talked about higher education just now, but I believe that there is a necessity, as mentioned by my group, that we are possibly furthering the digital divide by focusing on AI, because as you can see, it's very, the disparity is very, very, especially I can speak for Malaysia, very, very wide. And I'm not sure whether AI is actually addressing that issue at the core, because as mentioned, the issues are about poverty, about lack of transportation, about lack of desire to even go to school because they don't have the means to even support themselves to continue going for education. Thank you.
Thank you. Next delegate.
Hi, I'm Nathan.
Okay, hello, my name is Zuleika, and I'm a delegate of Malaysia, and I have a question directly for Indonesia. Do you think it is achievable for rural areas to access to full-speed internet, or at least enough to use AI to its full potential? And will it give a huge impact on their education for the youth? And if so, how many years or estimated time will it take to achieve this goal to help most of the youth in Indonesia? Thank you.
Thank you. Question for Indonesia. Next one.
Hi, I'm Nathan, a delegate from Singapore, and I am part of the Social and Education Task Force. I would like to direct our attention to the use of AI in classrooms. It is often said that AI should help with critical thinking rather than replace critical thinking, but I feel that students, especially in Singapore's education sector, in the primary and secondary levels especially, use AI to replace their thought processes, and replace their personal voice for disciplines such as the humanities. For example, if you're to study literature, you could ask ChatGPT to summarize and analyze for you, copy off Spark Notes instead of analyzing yourself. So, how do you ensure that AI, in both STEM and arts-related fields, ensure that it helps students with critical thinking rather than replace it? Thank you.
Thank you. Next.
Hello. Hello, I'm Asif, delegate from Malaysia. I want to ask, is there any surety that certain organization or people won't use AI to shape people's thought based on what they want? Because right now people are thinking that AI is smarter than human. I'm scared people might use this AI thing to impose something which will be contradicting our value. Value include not only accountability and integrity, but also our culture, custom, and tradition.
Right, thank you. Before we go, can I check how many delegates left? 2? Okay. Oh, 3. Okay.
Hi, my name is Sofia and I'm a representative of Malaysia delegate. I'd like to share a concern from a point of view of a legal practitioner, or rather a reality of what is happening in the world today. AI like ChatGPT can now generate legal documents from statements of claim to summons in formats that match what courts require. That's powerful, I would say, but also a bit concerning. Because if it keeps improving, it could replace certain tasks that previously needed professional skills, especially for basic filings. In fact, in Sharia courts today, members of the public can already file some cases themselves. If AI can guide them step by step to prepare these documents in the exact format the court needs, it makes the system more accessible, but also means some professional roles could be affected. Thank you.
Thank you. Second last delegate.
Oh, hello. I'm Jingsen, the delegate from Singapore. So I would like to encourage and implore nations to consider the human aspect of the AI revolution. It's been said and considered by many that AI is the fourth industrial revolution. So during the previous industrial revolution, the information age, many jobs in sectors like manufacturing were replaced by automation. In some developed countries, due to this automation, jobs were lost and communities sometimes suffered. For example, like in the US with the Rust Belt, cities like Detroit that used to be manufacturing hubs lost jobs due to automation, and a lot of social and human aspects weren't considered. during that. So given that some countries already experience this, nations in ASEAN could like add support schemes or mechanisms to protect their citizens, either by teaching them new skills to transition to different industries when affected by AI, or students when they are currently studying to prepare them to enter to a new workplace shaped by AI.
All right, thank you. Last delegate.
Hi and a very good afternoon. My name is Anglisha. I'm from University Science Malaysia and I was a former Miss Continental Tourism International 2022. So my question is for Philippines. You have mentioned that AI generated deepfakes are increasingly used to harass vulnerable groups. So public figures such as pageant queens, including myself, who are actually prominent in the Philippines culture are often targeted in these attacks. So how will AI Parasamasa ensure that both ordinary citizens and high-profile individuals like them receive equal protection and access to quick, effective reporting mechanisms? Thank you.
Thank you, Dalisha. That's question for Philippines. Now, let's give a round of applause for our Social and Education Task Force. We will now move to the last task force, which is the Economic and Trade. Can I see a raise of hands so that our mic can... Okay, right. Thank you.
Hello, hi everyone. My name is Naim from Malaysia. Okay, first and foremost, wonderful presentation from the speakers. So it's very rare occasions to see our members from across ASEAN member states here in one forum. So I just would like to encourage everyone to take the opportunity to engage with the ASEAN foundations, because one of our delegates here from Brunei, she mentions about the AI ready programs and initiative. So these very good programs there is inclusive, and they are targeting around 5 million beneficiaries. So I would like encourage everyone to reach out to the ASEAN foundations, bring this program, this initiative to your country, and make it inclusive and open more economic door for the locals community in your country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Delegate. The next speaker.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Wan. I am from Malaysia. So, firstly, thanks to all of the speakers for giving such a great remarks. Now, my question is directed to Malaysia. Now, Malaysia, you have you wanted to implement the AI regulation for finance. However, we can all agree that regulation is important for consumer, yet it will, however, limit the innovation of businesses and companies. Now, how do you balance that out? Because sometimes that innovation will be limited, but also those companies will run away to a different country like Singapore. No offense to them. So, yes, please, I hope you can answer that in the closing remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. Question for Malaysia. Next delegate.
Hello, my name is Shara and I'm from Malaysia. And I want to talk about the Myanmar agriculture. And it's a good idea, but the implementation of it needs a high cost implementation in hardware, software, and infrastructure. So, and there is job displacement for the workers in there. To a certain task, they may replace to retraining to the workers, new workers. So it will cost much time consuming. So that is one of the challenge for the agriculture AI implement. Thank you.
Thank you, Delegate. There's a question for Vietnam. Next.
Hi, my name is Riyad from Malaysia. First of all, I would like to commend Thailand on touching on an important point about digital privacy and also the right to disconnect. I would like to give this question to both Thailand and Malaysia. How do you basically reconcile AI regulation that protects digital privacy while also does not lock the average person that chose to disconnect from accessing essential services? Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any other delegates? Okay, yes.
Thank you everyone. So I'm Chen Xian from Singapore. So I have just some ideas. Brain drain is always something that concerns our regional friends when it comes to talent mobility. I believe ASEAN can devise frameworks that transform brain drain into brain circulation across the region. So regional talents can still travel to establish regional AI centers for training. Then member states can establish boomerang incentives for them to come back. For example, having a regional talent credit system where professionals earn talent credits for their contribution to regional projects. We can be redeemed for example, seed capital for local business ventures upon return, or priority access to regional R&D grants. We can even create an AI innovation board where member states co-invest in AI startups that takes into account how scalable they are across different ASEAN member states. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delegate. The next speaker.
Hi everyone, I'm Sheikh from Malaysia. The previous speaker is touching on various aspects of governance, regulations, infrastructure, but we haven't touched the main concern that is arising from the rise of AI, which is the job loss or replacement, right? As WEF projected 90 millions to be displaced between the year 2030, with women and Gen Z are more susceptible to be replaced by AI. So I'm just throwing out this question and concern to all speakers representing all ASEAN member states. Should we consider a regional collaborative framework tackling on job loss or job replacement covering ASEAN-wide nations? And how would the implementation or talent would be, the governance, or probably a regional funding organization? So yeah, just the mechanism on the ASEAN collaborative framework. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is that the last speaker? Oh, okay.
Hi, hello, my name is Shafika and I'm the delegate of Malaysia. So thank you very much for the opportunity. So now I have a question. Okay, so we all are aware that the ongoing AI revolution is rapidly transforming Asia's economies, industries and trade relations. While these advancements bring opportunities for growth, they also present significant economic concerns, including job displacement through automation, widening digital inequality between urban and rural areas, and the potential for market concentration where only large corporations dominate AI adoption. In light of these challenges, how does your proposal ensure that AI-driven economic growth will be inclusive and sustainable for all Asian member states? And what measures will you put in place to mitigate these risks while still fostering innovation and competitiveness in this region? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Delegate. Any other feedback? Yes?
That's why. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh dan selamat sejahtera kepada semua. My questions is go to my friend Los. So I do really interest in the AI powered disaster warning systems, and I think it will be a good system if it implement there. So I will ask one questions. So considering that the disaster unpredictable, so how does Lowe's plan to ensure that the AI power warning system remain reliable and functional at all times? And additionally, how does the government's plans to balance the economics cost of maintaining and upgrading the system with the potential economics benefits of reducing disaster related losses? Thank you.
Thank you. Question for Laos. Next speaker.
Just a question for everyone. Because there was a lot of idea on a lot of domestic policies, my question to all delegates is, where does ASEAN play in all of this?
Thank you. And the last delegate.
Hi everyone, my name is Andy. I'm an MBOT certified professional technologist, a software engineer, and also director of MITEC solutions. So recently I found out one thing is that in technology sector, most of the job can be replaced by AI. Even myself, when I hire intern, they are doing white coding all the way, and they are not sure whether they are written the right code or they are doing the right thing. They just commit the code and then deliver to production. So it's very dangerous. So I think in youngster, they should equip themselves with more industrial experience. So I think universities should collaborate with more industry expert and company like MNC company, so that there's a cross collaboration and provide them more experience in their field. Thank you.
Thank you. And that wraps up. Oh, another one? Okay, last delegate.
Hello everyone, I'm Haris from Malaysia. Thank you for all the speakers for sharing a valuable insight today. As a youth delegate, I believe Asian AI strategies must be more than just chasing innovation for profit. It must be inclusive, sustainable, and truly collaborative across our borders. We heard a lot today about AIs, but here's my take. If Asian want to AI work for us, it has to work for everyone, not just big companies, not just for the richest countries. That means sharing resources, open data, affordable AI tools, and training programs that reach students and entrepreneurs in every member state. It means working together, youth from across Asian building projects side by side, so our ideas don't stay in theory, they turn into real solution. And it means keeping our identity, making sure AI reflect Asian values, our culture, and our people, not just imported system. AI is already here. The question is, will Asian control it or will it control us? Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that, we have wrapped up our substantive debate session. Let's give our delegates another big round of applause. Alright, can I check before we go to the next session? Can I check with our speakers? Are you guys ready with your closing resolution? Alright, okay. Speakers, you now have 3 minutes each to present your revised closing resolution. This time, we will make it more fun by going in reverse order, starting with Vietnam and ending with Brunei. Let's welcome our first speaker to the stage, Vietnam.
Distinguished delegates, respective industry representative, on behalf of Vietnam, I wish to sincerely thank all the three task delegates that were here, present here, for their invaluable questions, insight, and challenges that they have addressed. Your perspective sharpens our collective vision as all of us here collectively, and they remind us that AI policy must be built not in isolation, but in dialogue with the people that it serves. In our opening, shared by my Vietnamese counterpart, there are three pillars: a comprehensive legal framework, a robust national data infrastructure, and targeted human capital investment. Today's discussion has deepened these three pillars. From industry feedback, we heard a call for making AI governance inclusive for all citizens, from children to retirees, so everyone understand both their rights and responsibilities in the AI era. You stress that local capabilities, infrastructures, and homegrown solution must anchor our local approach. You reminded us that our framework not only just to regulate, but also build sector-specific adoption to close the gap between policy and reality, and to pursue an ASEAN-wide cooperation that works across borders. From Task Force, you press us on governance, bias testing, public avenues to challenge AI decision, and ensuring interoperability across system. You question how AI can be stable and united power in AI while nurturing social justice, ethical use, and youth involvement. You highlighted the digital divide, the risk for professions, and the urgent need for AI literacy at all education levels. So Vietnam take these points seriously. Our existing frameworks, Decision 1290 on ethical AI, Decree 82 lifting funding caps, and the draft of digital industry law and our national e-document and chatbot services already show our intent. But the feedback today makes it clear. Framework must be lived, tested, and adapted so that AI reaches not only the privileged but every citizen, empowering them as our co-drivers for our future. So Vietnam will continue to work with ASEAN partners to close the digital divide, build sector-specific safeguard, and ensure AI literacy for all ages. Our commitment to make AI adoption is not just a technological advancement, but a societal one. So I leave this up to all of you. Vietnam does not see that AI is just the race to be first, but it sees the race to be fair and inclusive. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vietnam. Let's welcome our second speaker from Thailand to the stage.
Distinguished industry experts, fellow speakers, and delegates, what we have heard today is not just cautionary tales about AI and its implication on employment and the future of youth in ASEAN. It is a reminder that innovation without protection does more harm than good. As a young aspiring lawyer based in Thailand, the private legal industry is one of the most competitive job markets I know. One of my biggest fears is to be rejected before my humanity, personality, and worth is even considered, filtered out by an algorithm that sees me as nothing more than a data point. And if Thailand and neighboring countries adopt AI screening tools without guardrails, we will be building discrimination into our hiring systems for decades to come. AI hiring tools, in their current form, remain flawed. They are black boxes, arbitrary, committed to their reasonings, prone to overfitting, and dependent on historical data that may be biased. They also lack human sensitivity. For example, used to see value in a career break taken to care for a sick family member and see transferable skills in unconventional jobs. This technology was supposed to be made to screen human resources efficiently and without bias, right? But we are only perpetuating human bias in automation. That is why this proposal matters, and from my first speaker, we are not here to reject technology and monger fear, but we are only here to propose guardrails and protect individuals' rights through responsible and much needed safeguards. Thailand's goals are clear. First, implement mandatory bias mitigation practices in the current screening so that the screening systems which are utilized are trained on diverse, representative data, pre-processed to remove discrimination, and this system can be tested against adversarial models to detect hidden bias before it harms real candidates. This practice will achieve a goal which existed before automated processes even existed. It will make screening processes less biased and promote ethical and fair employment practices across all industries, while benefiting from automating processes. Second is giving the applicants the right not to subject to automated decisions, allowing candidates to contest AI screening results. And we do this how? You may ask. We require companies to provide an appeal process, enabling applicants to request explanations, submit additional information, and have their applications reevaluated by a human decision maker. This proposal also promotes transparency and the right to be notified, allowing candidates to get legal redress. And it is in line with current fair employment practices and in private sectors and also public governmental administrative actions. Fellow delegates, experts, and judges, is it too much effort to implement this much needed regulation? Let us not be remembered as the generation that let machines decide our worth.
Thank you, Thailand. Before we move, just a quick reminder to all speakers to speak loud and clear into the mic so that our audience can hear you clearly. Alright, let's welcome our third speaker to the stage, Singapore.
Chair, fellow representatives, and members of the audience, I will now address the comments made. Let me explain the rationale and mechanisms that make ADRS a feasible, effective, and future-ready solution that best utilizes the power of this developing technology in making our society a better place. Harnessing AI will help to further improve the implementation of ADRS. Previous service trials across 4 services during off-peak hours yielded savings of 2,100 Singapore dollars per day, and these savings are set to exponentially increase when introduced during peak hours and on a larger scale. Based on 2024 data, monthly ridership in Singapore for public buses, MRT, and light rail transit averaged 3.5 million, 3.2 million, and 187,000 respectively. With buses having the highest ridership counts, it is evident that we should prioritize targeting these services. This is also why recent government plans, such as the Land Transport Master Plan 2040 and the Draft Master Plan 2025 by URA, have placed significant focus on how we can reshape our bus network. Our proposal is clearly inclusive for all. Public buses are important to facilitate last-mile connectivity in Singapore due to their higher flexibility of routes and ability to go beyond the constructed rail tracks. As such, AI will help to reduce potential inefficiencies in the bus network. How would we support the implementation of ADRS since it will take time to fully collect data? For now, LTA can continue running traditional services, utilizing AI models to reconsider and optimize route implementation. As ADRS works best in population-dense areas, improved traditional fixed route services can continue to serve low-demand corridors. Additionally, we recognize that security is paramount in AI development and utilization. Since there is currently no fully secure large language model developed for use by the Singapore Public Service, one of our goals includes the development of a model fully hosted within a secure environment. This allows LTA staff to review and utilize sensitive information freely with AI assistance, instead of only being restricted to open public sources of information. In terms of interoperability, beyond Singapore, other ASEAN member states more dependent on bus services may also wish to consider implementing similar models to that of Singapore to efficiently utilize public transport. Singapore is similar to other metropolitan cities like Kuala Lumpur and Jakarta, but in those cities, private transport options are still predominant and preferred. By turning a positive vision of AI into tangible and inclusive outcomes across ASEAN, we can ensure that AI remains accessible to all as a force for good. Our future is unwritten, and it is ours to code. Let us create a shared future where technology facilitates development to serve humanity. Thank you.
Thank you, Singapore. I just received a cue that our VIP is coming. Maybe we'll take a moment. Oh, okay. He's going to the restroom first. It's okay. Thank you, Singapore. We will now move on to our next speaker from Philippines.
Terima kasih, salamat po for the valuable feedback and questions from our delegates. AI para sa masa is intentionally designed to be both risk-based and opportunity-driven, which protects people while also encouraging innovation that is locally grounded and regionally connected. That is why our proposal is comprehensive because it has top-down and bottom-up features. The top-down feature is a proposed policy that can be integrated into a draft AI governance law that the Philippines is yet to have. The bottom-up feature aims to contribute to AI sovereignty, harnessing the country's own human resources, tapping Filipino experts to develop a secure AI chatbot with Philippine language options, and exercising more control over environmental implications of AI. It also aims to distribute information through radio and community platforms accessible to parents and guardians, and can be expanded to include alternative learning systems and village-based information drives. Currently, the biggest victims of deepfakes are women, including celebrities and ordinary women. So our solution is really to employ more people to increase the capacity to detect, scout, and take down harmful deepfakes. This requires human oversight, which can translate to job generation. The problem we are raising here is cross-border and transnational. The Asia-Pacific region saw a 1,500% increase in deepfakes cases. So let's ensure that vulnerable groups are protected in the enforcement of policies aligned with the 2025 expanded ASEAN Guide on AI governance and ethics for generative AI. And let's work together to maximize opportunities that can be provided by our country, the Philippines, being the chair of ASEAN next year in 2026. As the Philippines prepares for that role, let us lead by example, developing policies and initiatives that not only defend against harm, but also harness the potential of artificial intelligence to strengthen our values, our communities, and our shared future. Together, we can ensure that AI in ASEAN is ethical, inclusive, and truly for the people. AI para sa masa. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Philippines. We will now invite our next speaker, Myanmar.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. I am Sam from Myanmar. So as we close, Myanmar call on all nations to bridge the digital divide in agriculture. It is not only about the machines. It is about empowering people, including women farmers with the skills, assets, and tools to thrive.
Sorry.
Many farmers.
Our VIP is here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's join me in welcoming The arrival of Yang Berhormat Datuk Wilson Uga Anak Kumbong, Deputy Minister of Digital. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, please have a seat. Thank you so much. Let's welcome our next speaker, Myanmar, to the stage.
Hello, good morning, everyone. I am Sam. I am from Myanmar. So, as we close, Myanmar calls on all nations to bridge the digital divide in agriculture. This is not only about the matching, so it is about the empowering peoples, including women farmers, with the skills, assets, and tools to thrive. Many farmers in Myanmar and beyond and lack of internet access and AI tools and trainings. Without them, they cannot compete, adapt to climate change, and also improve their livelihoods. This high cost of hardware and software couples with time-consuming implementation remains a major barriers. And then the Netherlands and the other countries are also involved in large-scale pilot to digitalize agriculture, utilizing AI for tasks like controlling colors, mineral intakes, detecting diseases in livestock, and managing water resources. Taking into account a framework of other countries and not only in ASEAN countries, our proposal directly address these challenges. Firstly, improve rural internet access. By pooling resources regionally, we can reduce infrastructure costs and share technology, making connectivity affordable for remote areas. Secondly, train farmers in digital skills. Using simple, low-cost program reduce the time needs to adopt new tools and ensure inclusivity, especially for women farmers. And thirdly, create ethical, affordable AI tool through algorithm impact assessment before launch. We can ensure solution are transparent, fit for purpose, and low maintenance, lowering both purchase and upkeep costs. Build partnership beyond ASEAN, engaging global partner brings in technical support, share platforms, and open source solutions that cut software costs. And share regional knowledge, learning from other country, proven low-cost method avoids duplication, saving both money and times. By adding together, we can reduce the implementation costs, speed the adoption, and make technology work for every farmers, not just the privileged few. Myanmar stand ready for working with all partners to make the vision real, ethical, transparent, and inclusive. Thank you.
Thank you, Myanmar. Let's welcome to the stage our next speaker from Malaysia.
On behalf of Malaysia, thank you for all perspectives from the industry side and also delegates. I think for our closure speech, we just concern for the lack of transparency in AI-driven decisions that can increase anxiety among the clients and also harm public confidence. As we implement Malaysia's PDPA framework, as far as I know, because I myself do real research on these things with University of Malaya students team on that, but we must ensure fairness and avoid bias, like bias testing from one of our delegates mentioned, especially in automated decision making, so we can ensure transparency. Right now, AI can act like a black box where consumers don't understand how decisions are made. So I think in this part, we can add Dr. Lee Vang feedback on how actually we also need our customer to have exposure or education in knowing how all of this automated decision making works. If AI only follows past patterns, like favoring high income groups for loans, it could unfairly reject those from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, worsening financial inequality for rural communities, suburban families, and or even the orang asli. Financial institutions see AI's potential for efficiency and innovation, but we also face real challenges in balancing regulation, feasibility, and fairness. Overly strict rules could slow progress, but ignoring ethics risks bias and reputational damage. For example, requiring full explainability for every AI decision may not be practical, but tools like automated bias detection, such as IBM's Fairness 360, can help streamline compliance. So all of this isn't about imposing rigid mandates. Instead, we can propose strong collaboration, like working with fintech leaders and industry experts and also youth, as one of our delegates mentioned, to co-design solutions. By aligning ethics with business goals, we can build trust, attract global investors, and make Malaysia a model for competitive yet fair AI. And for the question from one of our delegates, the question of how to balance innovation and regulation is hard to answer, as it is very dependent on the context. Of course, no regulation should be implemented without consultation and consideration of the interests of the financial industry, but what we are hoping is not to just set hard laws and regulations, but to encourage soft regulation on ethical and professional industry standards first, not touch on innovation yet. Things as actually in Malaysia currently, we just imply all the PDPA framework, but not yet have strong real implementation on that. And aligning it with international approaches to AI governance, so this actually can lead to public trust and attract more industry to go for our country. That's all from me.
Thank you, Malaysia. Let's welcome our next speaker to the stage from Laos.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sulapi Pangsuwan. I'm the speaker from Laos. Distinguished delegate, industrial expert, and fellow representative, thank you for all your vulnerable feedback on our proposal enhancing disaster warning system in Laos by integrating AI and digital tools. We are all listen carefully and refine our approach to ensure that our initiative is not only visionary but also practical, reliable, and inclusive. In response to the concern about reliability of AI-powered alerting system, we will adopt a hybrid model that combines AI-driven by detection with the human verification from trained local disaster officers. This ensures that every alert issue is both fast and accurate, reducing the risk of false alarm while maintaining the urgency required for disaster preparedness. Drawing from Asian best practice, we will integrate multiple communication channels from mobile loud ringing alert to community radio and local volunteers so that even rural and low connectivity areas can be reached in the real time. And also, like some ASEAN countries also have the base alerting system. This is the reason why I'm here today, so that we can connect the network together, and we also can learn from the country that also have this system exist, so that they can help us to build the best alerting system in our country. And in terms of how can we make it inclusive, I think that we not just make it in the language, but we also can make it in the sound and also translate the alarm into our language as well. And we also acknowledge that technology alone is not enough. To build trust and uptake, we will conduct regular community drills, youth-led awareness campaign, and capacity building sessions for local leaders, ensuring that citizens know how to respond the moment that receive an alert. Our collaboration will span across ministries, telecom providers, society groups, and ASEAN partners, enabling both technology transfer and resource sharing. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Laos. Now let's welcome our next speaker to the stage from Indonesia.
That's audible. Okay. Yep. Not yet. Sorry. Okay. Everyone, I believe that we all have different things that we love, but there is one thing that we all hate. That is not being invited to a party. Because when you're not being invited to a party, you are lost from the fun. You are lost from all the opportunities and information that you can get. This is unfortunately something that is happening to the people in treaty regions in Indonesia. What are those regions? Once again, these are the regions that are the underdeveloped, the outermost, and also the frontiers. These are regions like Sulawesi, Papua, and East Nusa Tenggara. And if you haven't heard of any of this region, then that's perfectly at the urgency of why we are all standing here today. Because if you only heard of Jakarta and Bali, this is exactly what has been happening. Those are the regions that have been left out from opportunities and also from all the efforts that the government has been doing. And this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a bottom-up approach to help those people. We do understand that it's very hard for us to rely on the government, and it takes a long year for us to make everything equal. And that is why what we want here is to make an offline literacy efforts. We try to do three things. One, we want to make AI learning hubs. So we want to involve all the students, whether they're in primary school or like on a tertiary school, for them to help those people around them. Because if they understand what AI is, then there's a privilege for them, and there's also within the obligation to share their privilege to other people. Secondly, we will also share brochures and also trying to do like on local television channels or like even radios to make sure that they understand about what AI is. But thirdly, we're trying to also do offline socialization, something like this, maybe not this expensive though, to those people and like to those areas, so they can understand what AI is. Because I think we all got it wrong. The prerequisite for us to understand AI is for not for us for all to be here. The prerequisite for us to understand AI is to know what AI is and for us to get introduced to what AI is first, and that's what we're trying to do here. Because if not, just like how you would invite someone to a party, they would immediately reject AI. And that's something that we're not trying to do here. We try to make them understand, we're trying to involve them to the party. And we got two questions earlier. One, how do we make sure that this is something that goes hand in hand with the government? This is something that we do hand in hand, meaning that while waiting for the government to finally take actions of those people on the ground, we try to do this so at times when we are ready to give them access, they are familiar with it and they don't feel like AI is an alien or a stranger to them. But secondly, we got a question also. How long does it take Indonesia? My honest answer to that is only one. I do not know. It takes as long as it takes, and we are ready for that because we've left them alone for years, and it's our turn to help them right now. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Indonesia. We have come to our second last speaker. Let's welcome Cambodia.
Can everyone hear me? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. First things first, thank you all delegates for expressing your concerns earlier. Just wanted to let you know that our Cambodian team and Thai team are doing well. We're good friends here. Yeah, thank you. We're good friends, no worries. All right. Anyways, coming back to our whole delegation as a whole, honorable delegates, today we've heard a powerful range of visions from ASEAN AI's future, right? So basically, we've been taking notes, like for instance, Brunei's call for ethics in education, preparing future leaders through geo-digital edu. Indonesia reaches its 3T regions with offline AI literacy, proving that inclusion begins with understanding, and Laos also proposed an AI-powered disaster warning to protect rural communities from climate risks. And then we jump to see that Malaysia has urged sector-specific regulations and finance align Indonesia with global standards. Myanmar also seeks to empower farmers with low-cost AI tools and linking digital access to food security as well. Lastly, our Filipino friends has also confronted deepfake abuse with educational and accountability, safeguarding and dignity online. Also, wanted to give a quick shout out to our Singaporean friends as well. They reimagined public transport with dynamics and AI powered routing. And also another shout out to our friends of Thailand for exposing algorithm bias in hiring, demanding fairness and transparency. Lastly, Vietnam lays out a bold public strategy combining law, infrastructure, and talent lead to responsibility. So as I'm here on behalf of Cambodia and my team as well, we're not just here just talking about Cambodia, but here to talk about ASEAN as a whole as well. So Cambodia listens with deep respect and offer a gentle challenge to everyone here as well. We can all take this with a grain of salt. So we believe that AI governments must begin not just from infrastructure, but human capital and ethic must be lived and not just taught. Inclusive must be co-created, not delivered. And I believe this is something that everyone in this room shared within their speeches throughout the whole thing. Even our delegates have asked upon this. That is why Cambodia launched Polytech Cambodia, a national initiative, basically to equip over 20,000 youth, especially from disadvantaged background. And of course, policymakers, vocational and digital skills from coding, tourism, infrastructure, agriculture. We are building a workplace that understands not how to use technology, but how to shape it ethically and inclusively. While others build system, Cambodia asks who built trust. Secondly, while others regulate sector, we ask who trains the regulatory. While others deploy AI, we ask who ensures that these villagers, every voice, every valuable group is a part of this journey. And Cambodia's position is clear, so let ASEAN build not only on smart system, but wise ones. Thank you.
Thank you, Cambodia. Now let's welcome our very last speaker from Brunei.
This. Okay. Hello everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Honorable Chair, distinguished speakers and delegates, as well as ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to thank everyone. I really appreciate all the feedbacks and all the concerns that you have mentioned here. But before that, I also want to apologize that I might not be able to answer every single concern that has been addressed to us. But I will try my best to answer anything that relates to the initiative that we have come up prior to this event. I hope that is okay for everyone. Okay, let me gather my thoughts. So over the course of our deliberations here, we have engaged in a very meaningful dialogue, discussion. And I believe we have tried to share our national perspectives. Not only that, we try to understand each other's challenges, and also, most importantly, that we have worked together to come up with a solution where AI empowers all ASEAN citizens. So, Brunei, we have agreed on three things, our initiatives. The first one is to come up with what we call Brunei Go Digital ASEAN Education, which is actually already an initiative that has existed and which is funded by Google and also ASEAN Foundation, which is actually called Go Digital ASEAN. But we have decided to expand it into Go Digital Education, which focuses on education sectors. So to answer a concern that I remember just now is about where do we draw the line between the AI ethics and academic integrity. So actually, when you want to implement AI in ASEAN countries have actually agreed on something that we call an ASEAN AI ethics and governance framework, which has 7 guiding principles. So each ASEAN countries will have to follow these guiding principles to implement artificial intelligence into any system or education or any initiative that they have come up with. So this is the main thing that I want to address. The second one is to address Dr. Jun Yi and also Madame Santoso feedbacks, and also Dr. Lee about coming up with trust, and also about our collaboration and also cross-border collaboration, and to find trustable partners. So we also have come up with something which is called ASEAN AI Collaborative Network, which will connect ministries, universities, public sectors, private sectors, and innovators to jointly develop AI solution and to come up with to have trust in community about AI. I also just come up with something what I call ASEAN AI Trust Mark, which will give AI system with certification if they have met the agreed ethical, safety, and trust standards. So, okay, that's all that I can address for now. Thank you.
Thank you, Brunei. And thank you to all speakers. With that, we have come to the end of the interactive roundtable session of ASEAN AI Malaysia Summit Youth Caucus 2025. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to take a moment to extend our deepest appreciation to all our speakers that came from all 10 ASEAN countries and delegates for your passion, respect, and insightful contributions. To our industry experts for sharing their invaluable perspectives, our VIP guests for gracing us with their presence, and of course, our organizing teams, Kini Events and MIDP who have made today possible behind the scenes. It's been a total pleasure and honor to chair this session. Thank you all for making this session a success. Let's keep the conversation going beyond this room and continue turning today's momentum into meaningful change. Now, please remain in the hall for the next session. I will now pass back the floor to Siti. Over to you.
Thank you so much to our amazing youth speakers, youth delegates, and our respected chairperson. From today's session, we witnessed not only constructive discourse, but also the impressive ability of our youth to articulate diverse viewpoints, which has truly captivated and enlightened us all. A special thank you to Ms. Haniza for skillfully striking a balance, maintaining order, and ensuring an engaging and thoughtful discussion throughout the roundtable session. Now, I would like to invite Ariane Santoso, Government Affairs and Public Policy Manager at Google, to deliver her speech.
Thank you again, everyone. First of all, I would also like to thank YB Datuk, Wilson Ugak Anak Kumbong, Deputy Minister of Digital, for gracing your presence. I know you must be very busy as well. Mr. Shakib Ahmad Shakir bin Jamaluddin, Deputy Secretary General of Ministry of Digital. Dr. Livy Meng from National AI Office, our great partner in a lot of initiatives. Thank you. Dr. Jun Itan, Senior Research Associate Kazanah Research Institute. We had interesting discussions prior to this day. I learned also so much from you. Pramesh Chandran, co-founder of Malaysia Kini. Probably he's not here, but appreciate also the opportunity to work together. Emilia Sharif, CEO of Malaysian Institute for Development and Professionals. And Puan Mimi Muhammad Ali from Head of Strategic Communications National AI Office. And thanks to all delegates and speakers. Very, very incredible to hear your ideas, your passion, and your insights. Really, really inspiring. And yeah, it is, I'm genuinely blown away by the depth of the conversations that you brought to the table. And it's not just, on the service conversations, but this is exactly the kind of conversations that we have on a daily basis, working with our partners, the government, also the private sector partners, as well as CEO. So you are amazing. So give yourself a round of applause. So we also believe at Google that AI should be a tool for everyone, serving everyone and leaving nobody behind. And I believe that public policy should also benefit citizens across Malaysia and ASEAN. This is why we are so focused on bridging the national and digital divide. And that's why we launched different initiatives working with the government. Tomorrow, we will also have another session with the National AI Office and My Digital to work how to increase AI adoption use cases across different priority sectors. Also taking into the elements, how we can tailor the needs into the realities and how we can also leverage the strengths that Malaysia already has. And that's why we've seen how access to technology and skills can transform lives. And that's why initiatives like digital skills training, some of you already mentioned the initiatives to google.org. This is our philanthropic arm, fully nonprofit, are so vital to ensure that no community, no matter how remote, like the Indonesian team already said, 3T, tertinggal, terdepan, terluar, will not get left behind. And as we all question the future with I would also like to highlight what Ms. Amelia already mentioned in the beginning. When she asked what your feelings were, excitement, nervousness, anxiety, those are the feelings that we all grapple with when we talked about AI. You know, we don't know because this is an uncharted territory, and that's why we need these conversations in how we do our work. We need to hear from you, we need to hear your insights because we believe you bring fresh perspectives. And as a proof, we heard so many great ideas from you. I would also like to highlight different principles at Google that we believe would be very important and relevant to our conversations today. So when we talked about proportionality, we talked about regulations, how to govern AI. We believe that regulations should be balanced and tailored to the specific risks of an application, not a blanket approach. So when we talked about input, process, and output, we like to see the risks being managed at the output level because in the input level, we would need different data sets to make sure that AI will not be biased. They need to see a lot of data sets, so exactly to remove the biases, but then in the processes, there would be guardrails. There would be safety mechanisms to ensure that the output would be safe and critical and ethical. So when we talked about transparency, we definitely clear standards for AI, how AI systems work, are built and used, so people can understand the output. At the same time, probably there should be elements that also respect trade secrets because that would be the drive for innovation and technologies for other companies to compete together. So balancing that requires a very careful approach. And when we talked about safety, we must prioritize research into AI safety and security. And this is also an initiative that has been championed by a lot of countries and jurisdictions, including also the Malaysian government, how they think about the AI safety network, trying to elevate the standards in the region with the focus on preventing malicious use. Finally, and most importantly, we need to strengthen youth participation in tech policy making. So when I was your age, the conversations about including youth was still very scarce. But now we have this opportunity. You are the digital natives, the ones who live with the consequences and benefits of the technology. I have two nephews, 11 and 13 years old. They are super smart, super fast. When I ask them about a particular actor, a particular film, they use Google very fast. And not only use that, but they can digest and create a more comprehensive information. So that's the kind of, elevation that we need. So that's why we believe AI will not actually threaten jobs and creativity, but we believe that it will amplify our abilities so that humans can focus on the creative part, the strategic part, and the empathetic part. It is an amplifier of human capabilities, not a substitute. It can actually free up our workforce to tackle more complex, rewarding challenges, and ultimately, it can open up the entire new fields of opportunities. So as we leave this venue, I urge you to carry this momentum forward. The ideas you shared, the networks that you built, the friendships that you already forged, and the resolutions that you have formed are the seeds of a more inclusive, ethical, and innovative future for ASEAN. Thank you.
Thank you, Ariane, for your insightful remarks, and to Google for your continued collaboration and support on this important topic. Next, I would like to invite Mr. Shakib Ahmad Shakir bin Jamaluddin, Deputy Secretary General of the Ministry of Digital, to deliver his address. Please welcome him to the stage.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Yang berhormat Datuk Wilson Uga Anak Kumbung, distinguished guest partners, organizers, and most importantly our young delegates from across ASEAN, good evening. It is a great honor to join you for today's ASEAN Youth Caucus, a platform that reflects our shared commitment to shaping a digital future that is inclusive, ethical, and forward-looking. Now, with your permission, YB, I will go off cuff. I have a text prepared before me, but I feel that I want to say something more from my heart. Right? Now, to be honest with you, I have a little confession. I was not here for the past 1 hour. Actually, I was here way before that, and I was listening to all of you conveying your points and your thoughts from there while sipping my coffee. Now, I was totally impressed. Never ever have I felt like being a dinosaur in a room before, no, to be honest. Now, why do I say that? Because artificial intelligence is something that is new for us in Malaysia. Now, by new, I mean is that it has been with us for roughly 3 years. Now, taking that into perspective, and with all due respects to Google, I'm going to use ChatGPT as an example, OpenAI. OpenAI has been used, or ChatGPT has been used since 2022, I believe, but it has reached 330% reach to the Malaysian public as of May 2025. Now, to us, to me, as for example, artificial intelligence is something which is new. We have been talking about it. We have been having a conversation about it, serious conversation about it for the past perhaps 18 months since the establishment of the Ministry of Digital Malaysia. That is, in a time scale of a policymaker, is something which is relatively new, is something which is relatively not mature. But I am happy to hear what all of you have said. Difficult conversations, issues that need to be thought and talked about. Why do I say this? It's because I'm the generation that comes from where telephones are still attached to the wall. I come from that generation. I come from a generation where missed calls are not an issue. It doesn't matter because, well, we don't carry handphones. But all of you are, as said by Ms. Santoso, are digital natives. You have grown with gadgets in your hand. You are familiar with artificial intelligence. And we, and me personally, perhaps I would say, we are in a situation where we need to groom a new generation of policymakers, of thinkers, of future leaders, of future government servants, of future corporate leaders and heads of institutions that will talk about artificial intelligence, that will talk about digitalization. And you are it. And by the time that you are my age, you would have a system or an artificial intelligence that has already been matured, that has gone perhaps through 2 or 3 decades of development. And that's where you come in. And where you come in, and you will chart and decide what the cost should be for the generations that come after you. And I am comforted today by the fact that I can hand over the baton to people like you. And all of you, deserve a round of applause for yourselves, please. What a wonderful job that you have done. Artificial intelligence is something that must be used responsibly, right? It is an anthropological revolution. It changes the way we think, shapes the way how we bring our thoughts and how we put our ideas across. And I'm sure all of you have depended on artificial intelligence or your respective devices to form questions or maybe even form answers. The responsibility therein is how much you use or how much you depend on it to form your answers, to form your questions, to form your thoughts. Because the risk of overusing artificial intelligence is cognitive atrophy, your inability to think for yourself as a human and depend totally on artificial intelligence to form your answers and questions. That is what we don't need. What we need is still the human element. Artificial intelligence, as some of you have pointed out, is not here to replace us. Artificial intelligence is to assist us, is to make sure that we as humans are still relevant in this point in time. Now this is a point that I wish to deliver, and I hope all of you will remember that. Right? Now I shall revert back to my speech because to me stay all that has been raised. Now, I must convey our thanks to the partners such as my digital and the National Artificial Intelligence Office that remains engaged with the youth, not only in forums like this, but in ongoing policy development and implementation. And also I wish to convey my thanks to Kini Events and Malaysia Institute for Development of Professionals. Thank you. Thank you for setting a high benchmark for meaningful youth engagement, and to our sponsor, Google. And key supporters, Kazanah Research Institute, My Digital, and NAYO. Your support is paving the way for future inclusive digital governance. For most of you, as I mentioned earlier, your role does not end here. Take today's insights, networks, and energy, bring it forward, bring it to your classrooms, your startups, your research, and your activism. You are not just the beneficiaries of AI policy, you are the co-creators. And thank you once again for your ideas, your optimism, and your leadership. We look forward to working alongside with you as partners in shaping ASEAN's digital future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shakib, for your meaningful message and your support in advancing youth participation in the digital policy landscape. And now, to deliver the closing remarks for the Youth Caucus 2025, I am honored to invite YB Datuk Wilson Uga Anak Kumbong, Deputy Minister of Digital.
Okey, terima kasih saudara-saudari pengurusi majlis. Yang berbahagia Tuan Shakib Ahmad Shakir, the Deputy Secretary General Ministry of Digital, who just delivered his speech just now. Arian Santoso, the Government Affairs and Public Policies Manager. Pramis Chandran, the co-founder of Malaysia Kini. Emilia Sharif, the CEO of Malaysian Institute for the Development of Professional. Dr. Lee Win Meng, the Directors of Policy National AI Office Malaysia, NAYO. And Dr. Jun Itan, the Senior Research Associate, Kazanah Research Institute. And to all young and very good genetic, all of you are the, when I see that you have your ideas into I are very, very, very good. This to engage fellow delegate, young leaders of ASEAN. Good afternoon and thank you for your warm welcome just now. First and foremost, I want to express my deep appreciation to every youth, speakers and delegate who contribute to the powerful discussion and navigating the AI frontier. The quest for innovation and ethical of technologies. Your voice, young ladies and young men, had brought this conversation to life, and not just as future leaders, but as a present change maker, shaping the ethical AI ecosystem of our shared region. As Malaysian chair the ASEAN this year, we are committed to leading the way in a responsible of AI development. Our vision is very, very clear to build AI system that inclusive, transparent, aligned with our ASEAN values. This Youth Caucus is part of that mission. A platform where Malaysia actively empower young people to influence policies and co-create our digital future. Throughout today's discussion, you have explored critical and complex themes, from agronomic bias and AI regulation to the opportunities of AI brings for education, entrepreneurship, accessibility, and more importantly, you are done so through collaboration across borders, discipline, and perspective. But this is not the end of the conversation today. It is just a beginning to share journey. The government industries, youth must work together to ensure that AI is not only innovative, but also ethical and inclusive and sustainable for all ASEAN. To the organizer, the Kenny events and Malaysian Institute for Development of Professional, to the sponsor, Googles, and the key partners, My Digital, the National AI Office and Gazana Research Institute, that thank you for creating a space where the youth can lead, question, and co-create. And to all of you, youth, delegate and speakers, your future is not something distant. It's begin here with your voice, your choice, and your continued courage to speak. Let's continue this journey together and make it a reality in future. And thank you. I want to speak so long today because I know everybody was quiet from this morning until this evening. And I thought that I was out of space, but today I'm very grateful that you here till morning until now. I'm closing this function or this discussion. With it, thank you very much for that.